Hey everybody, we finally had a series come to an end in the first round of this year's playoffs with the Vegas Golden Knights defeating the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games. And with the series now over, that means it's time for a series review. We'll take a look back at what happened, the general themes of the series, and I will give you my 3 stars from this first round matchup. So let's get into it here. As we take a look, the Vegas Golden Knights defeat the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games, 4 games to 1. And Winnipeg's only win came back in game number 1 on the road. It was a good start for the Jets, but after that, Vegas got their game together and ripped off 4 straight wins and really took it to Winnipeg for the rest of this series. Overall, the Golden Knights outscored the Jets 19-14 in the series and really dominated 5-on-5 play. We'll get a look at that when we look at the special teams numbers. The power play for the Golden Knights really didn't do a whole lot, just 3 for 16 on the power play in the series. Meanwhile, Winnipeg was very good on the power play, 5 for 12. Unfortunately, just didn't get a whole lot of opportunities with only 12 power plays in the series. So Vegas's penalty kill certainly struggled quite a bit, while Winnipeg was able to kill off the penalties for the most part that they did take. But ultimately, the Jets didn't get enough power plays for that to really be a game changer in the series. And despite winning the special teams battle, because when you look at these special teams numbers, there's no doubt Winnipeg won the special teams battle. It just wasn't a series where special teams played a huge role in the outcome because there weren't that many penalties and that many opportunities. So what did determine the outcome was 5-on-5. Even strength hockey completely dominated by the Vegas Golden Knights in this series. When you look at it, Winnipeg had 14 goals for in the series. 5 of them came on the power play. That means they only had 9 even strength goals in this series because neither of these teams had a shorthanded goal. So 9 even strength goals for Winnipeg, 16 even strength goals for Vegas. They scored 19 goals in total. Only 3 of them were power play goals. 16 of them came at even strength. So ultimately, it was 16-9 5-on-5 scoring in favor of the Vegas Golden Knights. And that is definitely one of the major reasons why they won this series. Goaltending as well, a much better performance for Laurent Brossoit than what we saw from Connor Hellebuyck. Laurent Brossoit for Vegas went 4-1 with a .915 save percentage, 2.42 goals against average, and 1.5 goals saved above expected. Not necessarily the greatest performance of the playoffs, but very solid numbers from Brossoit, who certainly did more than enough to keep his team in games and give them an opportunity to win pretty much night in and night out, and that's exactly what Vegas did. Not an elite performance, but very solid, exactly what he needed to be for the Golden Knights. On the other side of things, we have Connor Hellebuyck, who is massively disappointing in this series. 1-4 with only an .886 save percentage, 3.44 goals against average, and minus 2.9 goals saved above expected. He was way worse than expected in this series. And for a guy that is highly regarded as one of the top goalies in the entire NHL, this is clearly not good enough. Now, I will say in Hellebuyck's defense, the team in front of him certainly didn't do him any favors, especially as this series went along. The later we got in the series, it seemed like Winnipeg kind of just gave up a little bit and really just wasn't performing at a very high level. And, he wasn't getting a lot of help in front of him. But at the end of the day, Connor Hellebuyck needs to be better than this. I mean, for a guy that is so highly regarded, to have an .886 save percentage is completely unacceptable. To be giving up 3.5 goals against per game almost is completely unacceptable. And Hellebuck really didn't do enough to give his team an opportunity to win. And the team in front of him certainly didn't do enough either in helping him out and playing a good quality hockey game in front of him. So there's plenty of blame to go around with Winnipeg, but the goaltending was not up to par. And my thoughts going into this series was that if Winnipeg was going to have any chance to win and defeat the top-seeded team in the Western Conference, they were going to need Connor Hellebuck to steal them games and potentially steal them the series. And obviously, that did not happen with Hellebuck's performance, and for that reason, I'm really not surprised to see Vegas take this one in relatively easy fashion, 4-1 over the Jets. So now let's take a look at my 3 stars of the series. They all come from the Vegas Golden Knights, and there were certainly a good number of players to pick from here, but I have decided on these 3 as my stars of the series. Third star goes to Brett Howden. Very kind of under the radar forward for the Golden Knights. Certainly not one of the stars of the team, but he had a big impact on this series. 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points in the 5 games played, a +8 rating, and he led the team with 23 hits. A very, good physical performance for Howden, playing in more of a secondary scoring depth role. 4 points in 5 games, +8, just a great all-around series for Howden, and a real solid contributor from a secondary scoring position for the Golden Knights in this series. My second star of the series is forward Chandler Stevenson. Stevenson had 8 points in the 5 games, 4 goals, 4 assists, a +3 rating, and 1 game-winning goal. Stevenson was absolutely outstanding. It's been so great to see him kind of blossom with the Golden Knights. Early in his career, he was kind of stuck in the bottom 6 on the 4th line in Washington, and never really got the opportunity to break out. He comes to Vegas, and over the last few years with the Golden Knights, he has really broken out into a solid top 6 forward for them, and obviously was outstanding in this series with 8 points in 5 games. But my number 1 star is Captain Mark Stone, coming back from injury. Phenomenal series for him. Really led the way by example. Exactly what you want to see from a captain. 3 goals, 5 assists, tied for the team lead with Stevenson. 8 points in 5 games, a +5 rating, and he did have a game-winning goal. Stellar defensive play as well, which is what we've come to expect from Stone. And for a guy who returned in this series from injury and just was coming back from missing a lot of time, he played absolutely phenomenally for the Golden Knights. And just exactly the kind of performance you want to see from a captain. He got the job done and was a major reason why the Golden Knights were able to rip through this series and beat the Jets in 5. So the Vegas Golden Knights, top seed in the Western Conference, pretty much show everybody why they are the top seed in the West in this first round series. The only team in the first round that has been able to win the series and close it out in 5 games. Every other series across the league going at least 6 games. Vegas gets the job done in 5, with the exception of that Game 1 loss where they were not very good. They really took it to the Winnipeg Jets and flat out were the better team. There's no doubt about it. Their goaltending was better. Their top players were better. Their depth players were better. The Vegas Golden Knights were just flat out better than the Winnipeg Jets, and that is why they won this series in rather easy fashion. So I thought that for the Jets to have any chance, it was going to have to be a goalie show. Hellebuck was going to have to steal games, steal the series. It didn't happen. Hellebuck was disappointing. Laurent Brossoit was very solid for the Golden Knights in goal. And the top players, the stars, showed up for Vegas. They put up a lot of points. They put up a lot of goals and ultimately handled Winnipeg rather easily. So First series done in these playoffs. That is my series review for the Vegas Golden Knights against the Winnipeg Jets. Vegas moves on to round number 2. They will play either the Edmonton Oilers or the LA Kings. That series has yet to wrap up, but it's going to be a very fun second round series no matter who Vegas plays. And I think that the Golden Knights are going to be a force to be reckoned with and a very tough out in these playoffs. We'll see what happens going forward.